So, what happens when a global celebration of beauty and empowerment just completely implodes in public? Well, we're about to find out. We are diving deep into the 74th Miss Universe pageant, an event that promised all the glamour you'd expect, but instead delivered a masterclass in how to fail spectacularly. We're talking onstage rebellion, accusations of rigging, and criminal investigations that go all the way to the top.
And the whole thing blew up with this one single powerful statement. It all happened during a live-streamed event, when Miss Mexico, Fatima Bosch, just refused to be silenced. "You are not respecting me as a woman." You have to understand, these weren't just words of self-defense. No, this was the moment a revolution, led by the contestants themselves, began, and it exposed all the chaos hiding behind the crown.
Okay, so where did this all kick off? Let's set the scene. It's the sash ceremony in Bangkok. Now, this should have been a proud moment for all the women on stage. Instead, it turned into the setting for a really shocking public showdown that basically set the entire pageant on fire.
I mean, the audacity of this moment is just staggering. The host, director, a guy named Nawat Itzragrasil, doesn't pull her aside or talk to her privately. No, he gets on a live broadcast, accuses her of skipping her duties, and then verbally abuses her, calling her a dumbhead for everyone to hear. He even tried to get security to drag her off the stage right then and there.
But she didn't budge. Fatima Bosch stood her ground and flat out declared that no one could shut her voice. And that was it. That was the turning point. The reigning Miss Universe from 2024, Victoria Kier-Dalvig, immediately just walked right off the stage in protest. And she wasn't alone. One by one, several other contestants followed her. It was this dramatic, unprecedented show of solidarity.
You know, that rebellion on stage? That was just the tip of the iceberg. It completely shattered the shiny facade of the organization, and it revealed this deep, bitter power struggle that was raging behind the scenes. You had the pageant's co-owners fighting with the local Thai host committee. The house was truly and very publicly divided against itself.
And this feud just escalated so fast. On one side, you've got the Miss Universe president, Raul Rocha-Cantu, who comes out and publicly condemns the host director's behavior, calling it serious abuse and banning him from events. But the host director? Nawat. He fires right back by filing a police complaint accusing the Miss Universe staff of promoting illegal online gambling in Thailand. So you've got both sides taking public and legal shots at each other, and the whole organization was just paralyzed.
This whole internal war was messy enough, right? But the crisis was about to get so much deeper. The fight wasn't just about personalities anymore. It started to threaten the very integrity of the competition itself. Suddenly, there were these explosive allegations that the results were compromised from the very beginning.
Just think about this for a second. Days, we're talking just days before the final night, the very people hired to make sure the competition is fair start quitting. You have this mass exodus of official judges, and they're all citing serious concerns about the pageant's credibility. I mean, that sends a massive shockwave through the whole event and casts some serious doubt on whether a fair winner could even be picked.
And then came the bombshell. One of the judges who walked out, Omar Harfouch, went public with this absolutely stunning claim. He said he confronted the organization's president about the lack of transparency and was basically told that the official judge's role was, and I'm quoting him here, only symbolic.
Harfouch claimed that some kind of secret panel filled with people who had obvious conflicts of interest had already picked the top 30 finalists before the official judges even got there. He actually warned this could be part of a global-scale fraud. Of course, the Miss Universe organization flatly denied all of it. They said no such jury existed and that they followed all the official rules.
So who gets crowned the winner in the middle of all this chaos? Yep, Fatima Bosch, the very same contestant from that initial public blow-up. For a lot of the fans in the audience, this just felt way too convenient. They started chanting cooking show, which is basically slang for saying the results were cooked up or fixed from the get-go.
And that suspicion wasn't just based on a gut feeling. It was rooted in a classic problem, a potential conflict of interest, right at the very top. So let's be clear what that means. It's any situation where someone's competing loyalties could basically corrupt their decisions.
And this is where it's just impossible to ignore how bad this looks. Let's just connect the dots here. The pageant's co-owner and president, Raul Rocha-Cantu, is from Mexico. The winner's father, Bernardo Bosch, he's a senior executive at Mexico's state oil company, Pemex. And it turns out Rocha-Cantu's own company had previously landed a massive 745 million peso deal with that same company, Pemex. Now, that doesn't prove anything, but it creates this really clear appearance of impropriety that for a lot of people just destroyed any idea of a fair outcome.
And just when you think there's no way this can get any worse, oh, it does. The chaos wasn't just messy organization. It turns out both co-owners of the entire Miss Universe brand were facing their own, totally unrelated and incredibly serious criminal investigations back in their home countries.
$930,000. That is the approximate amount of money at the heart of a fraud case in Thailand. And the target of that investigation? Yep, one of the pageant's own co-owners.
That co-owner is the Thai media mogul Ann Jakarjitatap. Just days after the pageant finished, a court in Thailand issued an arrest warrant for her. The accusation was that she persuaded an investor to sink money into her company while she was allegedly hiding how bad its financial situation really was. And when she didn't show up in court for the verdict, the judge declared her a flight risk.
And, incredibly, the other co-owner, Raul Rocha Cantu, was facing something even more serious. He was reportedly the target of a major federal investigation in Mexico for just a staggering list of alleged crimes. Organized crime, drug trafficking, arms trafficking, fuel theft, you name it. Federal prosecutors apparently consider him the leader of a criminal syndicate. I mean, the rot was at the very, very top of the organization.
So, with the owners facing arrest warrants and the competition's integrity in absolute tatters, what's actually left? Let's take a look at the devastating fallout from this complete collapse and what it all means for the future of the Miss Universe brand.
You know, this quote from Miss Haiti, Melissa Sapani, it just cuts right to the heart of it. We sacrificed our lives for a system that was rigged. It really highlights the profound human cost here. These women, they put their lives on hold, they trained for years, they put all their trust into a system that they now felt had just completely betrayed them.
And that toll was physical, too. Forget all the corporate drama for a second. Contestants were reporting widespread sickness and pure exhaustion, running on just 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night in this totally chaotic environment. And this dysfunction had real-world consequences, like the horrifying moment Miss Jamaica fell from the stage during a preliminary round and actually had to be hospitalized.
But here's the great paradox in all of this. 2.6 billion. That is the number of global social media views the pageant got during this whole mess. It turns out the chaos was unbelievably compelling content online.
And this created a really toxic situation. The train wreck shattered all the social media records, sure, but at what cost? It completely destroyed the brand's credibility. It has tarnished the crown, maybe for good, and it put sponsorships and even the willingness of countries to participate in the future in serious jeopardy.
In the end, I think the Miss Universe 2025 pageant won't be remembered for its winner, but for the revolution that was led by the contestants themselves. They stood up and demanded that a platform supposedly built to empower women actually live up to that promise. And their actions leave us with one really big question for the future of this global institution.